What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn, and we are here today to talk to you about doing wholesaling on a part-time basis. Anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Rick Ginn, and hold on, let me put. Uh, okay, we're live. So, guys, let me know in the comments you can see me. I'm trying the Google Slides today to give you guys more information, so you don't have to constantly be scrolling on the bottom of the screen. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Hopefully, you guys are working on plenty of deals. And we are going to talk about wholesaling. And so many people have this thought or this consideration that, you got to do this full time. Well, I'm here to tell you there's people out there that have jobs they actually love, or they have a career they absolutely love, and they'd like to add wholesaling on to increase their financial wealth and give them more options with it. So that's what we're here to talk about today. I started out wholesaling on a part-time basis while I had a corporate job. I had two young kids and I had a mortgage. So, like me just quitting that job, six-figure job, and jumping in the wholesaling was not really an option. So, I decided to do both. And I want to walk you through it today. And so, if you are working a full-time job right now and you are doing your hustle, oh, I lost, let's see. You guys are doing your hustle, that's perfectly fine because I did it. And so many people, you put too much pressure on yourself to try to like make everything work instantly. So I'm going to run you through a few slides. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, and see if it fits for you. And then, as usual, um, go ahead and put in your comments. Those who put in the comments first, I try to get to you as soon as possible. I like to reward action takers. And guys, it is Friday. So do me a favor before we get started, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get going. I've been outside all today. So pretty outside today. So at least here in Florida. So you guys kind of share with me what's going on with the weather. But before we get into this, you guys know the deal. I've got to get the energy back from you. I love doing these lives with you, and you got to get pumped up for what we do because you are doing what 98% of the world refuses to do. That's taking charge of your life, taking what is owed to you and going out and getting it. If you guys are new to this channel, you're in for a wild ride. So you got to get pumped up. You got to get excited. You know what I'm going to do here. So go ahead in there. I'm going to feed your comments in. Let's get it going.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Guys, I mean that is as Saul says, that's his alarm clock every day to get up and do wholesaling. Guys, get rid of your boring alarm clock. Get something that gets you moves, gets you motivated, gets you pumped up. And I'm here to have fun with it. So let's get into it. Let's talk about wholesaling part-time. It's not like the worst thing in the world to do, guys. I'm telling you, it's actually a smart strategy. So if you have responsibilities and you have obligations, you need to make sure they're taken care of before you do a 180 in your life. So wholesaling is an easy strategy to do on a part-time basis. It's easy to do. It will take some time. So let's get into it. And Let's go here. So I'm going to get my mug out of the face here. So listen, why wholesaling works part-time? It allows you to keep the income while you're starting out wholesaling. It gives you a ton of flexibility. And obviously, if you have a little bit of money from your other job, marketing money's a lot easier. So those of you that are just going to like burn the ships and go to it, that's fine. But if you don't have any type of income, that does get challenging and it's going to require huge extra hustle. So, um, as I said, it's a wonderful transition period. And to be honest with you, it takes a huge weight off your shoulders. And I think it's a great strategy. So let's kind of dive into it. As always, I'm always going to tell you guys is you have to clearly define your why and why you want to do it. If you do not have a clear set why on why you want to do wholesaling, I don't care if it's full-time or part-time, it's going to be a struggle. Your why is I want more freedom to spend money on my family. I want more time. Time to me is more valuable than money, but I do want the money with it. You can't just do wholesaling to be rich. That's not a why. That's a result. So the question is, what would you do with your newfound riches? Would you hire people to help you out? Um, would you get somebody to help out with the cooking? Would you get somebody to help out with the cleaning? All things that you can do when you do wholesaling. So your why, the perfect one, extra income, build wealth. Um, and you have to define, listen, do you want to keep your job or is working part-time in wholesaling an ends to a meaning you want to leave your job? So I'll share a little story on how, let me do this here. I'll do a little story on how I did wholesaling is I had a full-time corporate job and I had a 1-year plan. Good news is it only took me 5 months to exceed my income goal and I left my job. One of my most favorite days to do it, being able to fire yourself. So those of you who are in a miserable job, I feel you because I was there for 12 years of my life. I didn't start wholesaling until I was 33. So I don't care what age you are, it doesn't matter. Just have a game plan. And that's what we're here talking about. We're talking about wholesaling part-time and how to get yourself going. Guys, keep filling out the comments on it. And we're going to do a really good Q&A today. So, so how to get started wholesaling part-time. What you have to do is be brutally honest with you on what your day gives you. So if you're working 8 hours a day, you've got to know what your day flow is. So if you know you got to go hard from like 7 in the morning till like lunchtime, then that's a time that you have to focus on your current job. And so you're going to have to switch over in the second part of your day. The really good news is about wholesaling part-time is the best time to contact people is always going to be in the evening. So it really kind of works out perfect unless you have like a nighttime job. So figure out how many hours per week you can commit to doing wholesaling and be realistic on the number. Don't put 40 hours a week if you don't have 40 hours to give to it. Okay. The next part of this is you want to define your players. Is it going to be you? It's okay, guys. I did this business completely all by myself for 7 years. Okay. Now, my wife did help out with me and I had some silent partners at the time. So define who your players are. Is your spouse helping you out? Do you have a business partner? Do you have a family member? And figure out what they can contribute to it. The next thing you want to do is obviously research your market to target. Obviously, I want you to do your local market because that's the one you know best. But if you're going to do virtual, make sure you pick the right one out. And guys, before you get started, make sure you meet with a CPA and a real estate lawyer in your market so you make sure you're following all the laws and everything's copacetic. And then just go over to freewholesaling.com. It is a 100% free course. It is the #1 wholesaling course in America. And it's back with 19 years of my experience plus 5 years of Zach's experience. And you get the 1-2 punch. And guys, we don't coach students. We actually flip properties every day. And that's what I love about it. And I only recommend stuff that we use in our business. So go into freewholesaling.com. There is more information and you know what to do with there. Just pick your time through there. And I would focus on the marketing part first. So, gee, I jumped around here. Okay. Next thing is probably the most important thing, and this is regardless if you're part-time or full-time. So take this, if you guys are just getting up and running and you're doing it full-time, these techniques will work for you. So number one, choose your marketing medium. All it is means, are you going to do cold calling? Are you going to do SMS? Are you going to do direct mail? Are you going to do RVM? Are you going to do door knockers? How are you going to deliver your message? And you have to master and pick the one you are most confident with. So number one, make sure it works within your schedule, because remember, you guys are already working another job, so I'm not here to kill you. And number two, make sure your marketing medium matches your personality. So if you hate talking to people on the phone and you deaf defying, it scares the heck out of you to call 1,000 people, I wouldn't pick cold calling. So if you have a partner that'll do it, or you have someone you can work with, that's great. Just understanding, if you're going to outsource for cold calling, I'd rather you do it for at least 3 months yourself, so you can learn how to manage people and run the right KPIs. Once you pick it, the next logical thing you have to do is you have to define your marketing budget. Guys, you have to have a budget for marketing. If you wing it, you're not going to do it even close to being right. So if you plan on spending $500 or $1,000 a month, and say you come up with a budget of $10,000 or $12,000 for the year, take an Excel spreadsheet and just go January, February, March, and so on, all the way to December, and then break it down. Now, by doing this, it's going to force you to do the steps necessary to keep your marketing going. And here's the good news. If your marketing is not working, you can change it. You just got to keep doing something with it. But if you don't have a goal, you don't have a budget, there's no way you're ever going to market. So I don't care if you're doing it full-time or part-time, you have to do this. Okay. Also, guys, as you get going in this, especially on part-time, there is going to be somewhat of a learning curve. A learning curve, I don't care what guru tells you, it cannot be completely avoided. Mistakes will be made, and that's how you learn. The idea is you don't make mistakes that are so detrimental that it gets you out of the business. So don't beat yourself up too much when you make a mistake. I'm just telling you, you will make mistakes with sellers. You'll make mistakes with some of your marketing. But if you stick to freewholesaling.com, we will show you the way on how to do that. So I'm not going to go deep into the guru thing. There's a lot of good gurus out there. I'm not here to knock every guru out there, but make sure if your guru is in the business and doing this business and not just coaching students. Remember, coaching takes a ton of time, and they have to give up their personal time to do it. You just want to make sure you are not the students they're flipping as opposed to the property. So a lot of times people think paying a guru is going to solve all their problems. They're going to give me a guaranteed path to success. I'm going to be honest with you. It rarely works out that way. So even a good guru is going to work with you, and they're going to push you, and they're going to make you brutally uncomfortable. Most people can't handle it and they don't like it. That's why 70% of the people that buy a course do absolutely nothing, because they bought it, it made them feel good, and then the shell shock hit them that they actually have to talk to people and work through it. So just by buying a guru's course, just so you know, it doesn't magically make you a great investor. You actually have to do the work. If anything, when you buy a guru's course, is the pressure is more on you than it ever is on the guru, because they're just going to say, hey, do this, ask you what your results are, and keep punching away. So last but not least, you guys have got to study and practice your marketing medium. If you're going to be cold calling, do not practice on the customers that you pay for list. Use old lists, use family members, use the mirror, use the spouse, whatever you need to do. You have to practice. I don't care if you're full-time, you're part-time. I don't care if you have a guru, you're not doing guru, you're just doing freewholesaling.com. The one thing you cannot avoid is you will have to practice your method. So the next one is you got to create your plan. So what you have to do is pick your market, and you got to declare your marketing medium. So if you have not picked it now is a good time to sit down, or maybe you can ask them the questions and we can go over it in the live stream to figure out how to do that. So, but I like to pick one marketing medium when I start out. So if it's direct mail and that's what you want to do, if it's cold calling, if it's SMS, just pick one and start with it. So we've already talked about creating a marketing budget for 12 months. And then you got to plan your strategy for lead management on CRM. Guys, keep it super simple. We just use Podio. It's like 12, 14 bucks a month. That's all you really need. You just got to set up the follow-ups and then set up technologies for easy management. This is with your phones, with either Vumber, CallRail. Anytime they can record the phone calls, it is a huge benefit for you. And place a time on your goals. So if you're going to be doing this part-time, you have to announce what your intentions are when you want to leave the part-time role. So if you want to transition from part-time to full-time, it's critical you put a date on it. So we're in December right now. So maybe you want to set 6 months or a year, whatever it is. Now, if you want to keep your job and you're very happy with what you do and you want to add wholesaling to it, then you can just come up with an income goal. And you can simply do that, because if you don't plan on leaving your job, then there's no point even talking about that part. Okay. Then when it gets to the appointment, guys, you have to define your appointment strategy. You have to be just into this part is you're doing it full time. So I've always tell you, pick your local market. Belly to belly negotiations always will get you the highest profit and the highest probability of getting a deal. Consider your overall strategy, meaning, are you going to meet them in a local market or are you doing virtual? Guys, meeting people in person is huge. Here's the differences. Almost 70% of communication is nonverbal. So when you get them on the phone, you're reducing your odds by almost half, because you can't see what they're saying. You can't see the reaction. So if you guys are doing a virtual market, just make sure you research the right market and you have a plan on how you're going to do your phone appointments, or if you're going to have some boots on the ground to help you out with everything. And guys, make sure you revisit like your phone systems. So if you're doing inbound leads, maybe direct mail, or maybe some online forms, or even like Facebook stuff, if you do that, guys, answer your phones. I can tell you this, that you have to be very adamant about answering your phones. If you're working a job and you can't quite answer your phones, this is where I try to get a family member or a spouse to help you out until you can get home to answer the phones. But and without hesitation, you have to be a follow-up master. You have to master following up people. You can't do that without a CRM. So it's important to do that. So we're almost done here, guys. I promise I'm gonna attack these questions. So a couple warnings, especially if you're doing wholesaling part-time. Do not overstretch yourself. You did not come into this world to like give up all your time. So make sure that you leave time for your family, you leave time for activities, to get your mind right. And I know a lot of you go, well, there's 24 hours a day and I can do it all. I'm just telling you, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, as you see in my last point there. And guys, have fun with what you're doing. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy connecting with people. So wholesaling is a very natural fit for me. And carefully pick the marketing median that fits you. As I said, if you hate cold calling, but you think it's the best probability for you to do it, I'm going to advise you against doing it. If you love talking to people and nothing scares you, go all in on it. And last but not least, focus on your goals and set them. And the sky's the limit for you guys. So that's kind of my it on wholesaling part-time. I know a lot of people, I have friends that are firefighters, police officers, nurses, and those are perfect jobs because a lot of times you work like 3 days on, you get 4 days off, and you have a lot of flexibility. The sooner you figure out wholesaling, the more you can flex your time and how you want to work that. And the beauty of that is you get all your nice benefits, you get a retirement package, and everything you earn in wholesaling is like your own like little piggy bank money. If you want to use it to buy a boat, if you want to do it to take like luxurious vacations, maybe you want to do it just to buy other assets, then go for it. So that's my take on wholesaling part-time. I started out doing it that way because I had responsibilities and a family to take care of. And I think if you're in that boat, then you got to do the responsible thing as far as what you're doing. So I got to get my coffee. So, okay, I see some names on here. Uh-oh. I see. What's up, Barbara? Sorry to hear that. Started 3 years ago. I have to start marketing. I dislike calling, but I will do it. So you got to get on it. There's no way to avoid that. So, Leslie asked, do you have a script for cold calling? So, yes, go to, let me put it up here for you guys. Um, if you go to freewholesaling.com, you register, guys, it's absolutely free. We don't hit you over the head with it. I could sit here and go over it, but it'd probably take the next 20 minutes and I won't be able to answer as many questions. And I do want you guys, Leslie, to get away from scripts and teach you how to have conversations with people, because the more real the conversation is, the better your odds on doing that. So, good questions. Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. Charisma, can you help me explain why we should close over the phone in virtual markets? As far as if they agree to the contract, how do we tell them we are not coming to the property first to lock it in the agreement? So the nature of virtual wholesaling is you're doing a market. It could be 1,000 miles away. Heck, it could be 10 miles away, depending on what you're considering virtual. So the beauty of everything that's gone on in our society and really in the last year and a half is people are okay with signing contracts, doing electronic signatures, and doing everything over the computer. I actually, in the last year, we've probably advanced 10 years what it would have normally taken us to it. So, getting them to agree to the contract and executing it over like a DocuSign is really the easy part. The second part of your question is the key one. How do you tell them you're not coming to look at the property when you first lock it up in the agreement? I'm going to be honest with you, it freaks out a lot of people. So they don't think you're serious. You don't go out and look at the property. So one of two ways, if you want to get around it, if you have a really good deal, you can simply pay what we call a scout or someone to go take pictures of the property, anywhere from $25 to $75 to go out there and solve that part of you. But I want someone just going to go out there, take pictures, be nice, and not say anything to screw up the deal. So that's how I would fix that part of it. But I gotta be honest with you, people are like okay selling stuff over the computer and over the phone right now. So it's not as big of a deal before. I will tell you this: if you can be in front of somebody and get their reaction and get all the visual clues they give you, you will typically do better. But for full disclosure, I do virtual markets and we never go to the properties. And occasionally I have to send somebody out there to go look at the property because they won't sell it to me unless somebody looks at them. So that could be your partner, it could be your contractor, it could be anybody. So it's important that you know how to deal with that. So um, as always, keeping it real. I appreciate it. Um, Will this be saved? Yes. So you can go on Wholesaling Houses for Real, and I believe the video is there, or Flip with Rick on our YouTube page, and everything's on there for you. So, Felipe, what's up? Marketing tips for an older demographic. I gotta be honest with you, your best deals are going to be from older people. So, marketing tips for an older demographic. It just, Felipe, tell me what type of marketing you're doing. Are you doing letters? Are you doing cold calling? And that will, because every tip's a little bit different. So you put it in there, I'll post it up there for you. So Zerk Turk, hey Rick, I watch your son from time to time. So you guys know my son is Zach. So he's on here. He's a lot more active than I am, but he should because he's young. I wish both of you guys good health. I appreciate it. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and doing everything. Let me get this thing off here. So Leslie says, I just don't know what questions to ask her to say. So Leslie, here's the really cool part. This is 100% free. I'm not charging you a dime for it. Most gurus going to charge you $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. So you think of a question before the end of this video because you owe it to yourself because it's absolutely free. I've been doing this 19 years and I'm here to help you out. Raphael says, when you cold call and ask if this is the owner of the address and they say no, Do you ask them for the homeowner's info? I just ask them, do you know the owner of the property? Sometimes they're just playing with you. Sometimes it's their sister, their brother, their mother, their father. But you got them on the phone, you might as well ask. The worst going to do is just keep telling you no. Dear Fon, are cash buyers overrun by wholesalers asking them their buying requirements when we cold call them? So, Fon, the key with cold calling is getting through that first 20, 30 seconds of awkwardness. But you do have to qualify if they're interested in selling the house. If they're not interested in selling the house, there's nothing you can say to them to get them past that. So I don't worry about requirements. If they're interested in selling the house, you just ask them 4 qualifying questions on there to save you time. Go to freewholesaling.com. I put everything in there in detail. You're talking about their motivation, their price, what the asset looks like, and you just kind of get down to it. But remember, guys, if they're not interested in selling the home, there's no point in even asking all those questions. So, okay. So here's a good one. Evans, what's up, buddy? Can you tell someone the earnest money is $100? Why would they take me as a serious investor? So you got to understand, a deposit is just a deposit. It's not you buying the property. The point of a deposit is to show that you're giving consideration and you're serious about it. Now, in the old days, we used to do $10. I swear to you, we did $10. Nobody said a word. It's legal to actually do $1, but you usually get a lot of crap for it. So most people have taken on from $1 to $10 to $100. I'm going to be honest with you. Very rarely have I ever lost a deal over the deposit. And if you think about the deposit, since it's basically a deposit, money put in escrow, the money's protected. So I never ever get hung up on deposits. If someone's giving you a really good deal and they ask for $500 or $1,000, if you can afford it, do it. Your money's really not at risk. So the deposit to me is irrelevant. To me, it's irrelevant, but I get it. $100 doesn't sound like it's like very serious, but at the end of the day, you've got to make sure you're able to buy the house and close on it. So honestly, I have very few people get hung up on deposit. They just want their house sold. They could, because they don't actually get the deposit. It actually goes to the title company. So the deposit's it's kind of a moot point if you think about it. The only reason I put more down on deposit, if I get like a really good deal, say a house 50 cents on the dollar, I'll put up a big giant deposit to know I'm never getting out of this contract. We are committed. When I have a deal that we're very squirrely about and we don't like, I'll do a $10 or $100 deposit all day long. So hopefully that gives you some guidance, Evans. But for the most part, they want their houses sold, and I don't think they really care about the deposit as much as you being able to close on it. What's up, Steve? He's moving to Oklahoma City soon. Can I start wholesaling independently after getting an REL license, or do I need to work for a broker after getting a license? You know what? So you're in an area where I believe they're going to require a license. So I would just get the license, talk to the brokers, and find out what you can do. I think once you're licensed, I don't think there's any restrictions for you working on a broker, but the best thing to do is find like an investor-friendly broker though that understands what you do. I wouldn't get like a regular retail broker because they'd probably freak them out. Any comments on Freedom Soft compared to PropStream? So I know both owners of these companies. I actually know them well. Let's see here. So if you guys want to check out PropStream, if you go to listrei.com, you get a 7-day free trial period, and then we give you all the instructions on like how to use it. Now, I like PropStream because after your free trial period is $97 a month, you get 10,000 free leads, and it works. The information's fast and it's reliable. I've had Freedom Soft. There's too many bells and whistles. When you're done with Freedom Soft, it'll cost you up to $500 a month. I just don't To me, I don't think you guys should be spending that kind of money. Um, I think you should get your lists, be able to comp stuff, put stuff in there, and leave it at that. The problem with Freedom Stuff, to get the full use of it, I believe it's $400 a month, and that's why I don't really recommend it. It's actually a good product. I know Rob well, but I use PropStream in my business, and that's what we use. And I don't promote stuff I don't use. So Freedom Soft's a great tool, but understanding if you get the full ride version, it's $400 a month, and I'd rather you spend that money on marketing. So hopefully that clears up that comment. Let's see, guys. Come on. This is a free mastermind. Where else can you get someone of 19 years experience, pick their brain about wholesaling, and they don't charge you a dime, and every Friday I'm here for you no matter what happens. Shoot, I even did Thanksgiving. So awesome. Rockstar, he did a driving for dollars, got 350 properties. Dude. So put in the comments how much time that took you. Now, I know he spent some gas money, but guys, driving for dollars is a technique where you just get in your car and you drive random neighborhoods and you collect addresses of what we call suspect properties. A suspect property is going to have high grass. One of my favorite is when the mailbox is knocked over, or a pile of newspapers at the front door, or like a blue tarp on the roof, because those are the properties we're always targeting. So one of the quickest way to build your database of leads is just go out and collect them. Now, whenever I struggled with leads in my business, I would send everybody out on the staff with a yellow pad, and everyone had to come back with a minimum of 150 addresses. Every time we did it, I believe every 200, 200 and a quarter, we would get a deal. So I'm not going to tell you that's going to happen in your market, but you will increase your odds hugely. So, okay. Felipe says he wants some tips on older demographics for cold calling and texting. So number one, old people are not crazy about you cold calling, and very few of them even understand the texting part. So when you're cold calling, I just kill them with kindness. Like I got to tell you right now, and you're going to have to be a lot more patient with like older people. So I don't know if you guys can target your list. You can actually break down the age. In the old days, I used to target everyone over the age of like 44, because my research said most of my great wholesale deals, the people were usually 44 and older. But Felipe, just be patient on the cold calling. Texting is just a real challenge with old people. And I'm one of those old people because I get text all day long, and I don't, I'm not trying to be rude. There's only so much I can do with the text. So, okay, let's see here. Jason, call me Papa Rick. I appreciate it. Leslie, have you ever closed a deal by driving for dollars? Absolutely, 100%. It's actually probably one of the best things you could do. Actually, if I was doing wholesaling part-time, it'd probably be one of my lead techniques to gather leads. So you guys know that beat up house in your neighborhood you drive by all the time and you're wondering what's going on with it. Why don't you get that address, find out who owns it, and find a way to get in contact with them? And if you could make 10, 20, 50, $60,000 on one wholesale deal, would it change your life, Leslie? I guarantee it would. So you can start with that. Let's see here. I love these questions. So Eve asks, how many deals do you honestly think we can do on our own with no team for each marketing source, driving for dollar, cold calling, direct mail? So Eve, it's a good question, but a bad question. So here's the deal is, churn on your marketing. Do the stuff I've already taught you. So if you've had a chance to go to freewholesaling.com, pick your marketing medium that you think you have the highest probability of success. Set your marketing budget and then go all in and do it. And then if you got good at one and you want to add another one, driving for dollars should always be on there. And when you do it, how many deals can you take down? The sky's the limit. The question is like, how much stuff can you handle doing? So I've done as many as, I believe, 12 deals in a month. And that's when I worked all by myself. And I got to tell you, it wasn't super fun, but it was exciting and fun to do at the same time. So what happens is if you have to stay on top of your leads and the follow up on them. So you can easily outspend your marketing dollars. Meaning, if you go out and get a list of 10,000 people and it's you by yourself and you're on the phone all day and you can't get anything done and you can't do follow up, you need to get some help. Your plate's so full, you need other people to help you out, and that's a great problem to have. If the money's flowing in, you're closing deals consistently, that's when you want to bring somebody else in to help you with your team. So, um, and then you got to keep in mind, every time you bring a person on, there is a cost to it, and you've got to weigh the pros and the cons of it. So it's up to you. I didn't get in this business to work 14-hour days. That's the last thing I want to do. So, um, you guys are answering their own questions there. Okay. Let's see here. How can I obtain a longer contract for North Carolina? I saw a live yesterday where you would bring 2 contracts to a deal. I have the 2-pager from your site, but nowhere to get a longer one. Really easy one. So just as a reminder, we were talking about some sellers like really short contracts. They just want to sign and they want to get the anxiety over and be done with it. And sometimes people want like 15-page contracts that a typical realtor would present. Because they're going to give it to a lawyer. And if you give a 2-page contract to a lawyer or somebody's spouse, you're going to get crushed by it. So to get the longer one in your state, you need to find the state approved contract for realtors and lawyers. So in Florida, they call it a FAR bar contract. So find out what the state approved real estate contract is for your state. Here's the good news is you can Google it because every realtor uses it. In Florida, the longest contract we have is 21 pages, which is an absolute joke and a travesty, but some people like them. So, Mr. Facebook, go and Google in North Carolina your state approved real estate contract for lawyers and realtors, and you should be able to find it. Worst case scenario, reach out to a local lawyer and they'll probably just give you a blank one. It's just that easy. So whenever I'm dealing with realtors and stuff, I want to make sure I'm using the exact same ammo. So that's the difference between like a long, complicated contract and a short one. When you go on appointments, you should have both just in case. Some sellers do not like a lot of contracts, meaning long contracts, and some don't like short ones. So being prepared with that will help you out. Yeah, I love your name. I'm just scared to say it on the air because I might butcher it. So, Alexandra. Well, maybe you can put the pronunciation on there. But pre-probates on PropStream worth to market to that list with the criteria. Would you put in there? By the way, pre-probates is a wonderful strategy. You can get it on listrei.com. It's through PropStream, and it's pre-probate. Now, what that means is it scrapes the death certificates for the county you give it or the city, and it will also find the person with a death certificate that owns property. Now, it's not perfect, but why I like the pre-probate strategy so much, yes, it works really well. I love doing it, is you're going to find properties that actually won't go through probate because they're either homestead exempt or they're in a trust or they're in a corporation. And those you will find doing the pre-probates. I don't like to use any filters on them because it's not like a 10,000 piece list. A lot of times it's like a couple hundred people. So I wouldn't put any filters on it and just see what size list you come up with it. And I love the strategy because it works. Because the old days, it cost me $150 per county to have somebody manually pull the probates for me. This one solves a lot of the case. We still like getting the county records, but the pre-probates is a wide shot, and it finds people that who've died to own a property. Remember, not every property goes through probate. A lot of people don't understand that. So you guys got any probate questions? I know everything you could possibly know about a probate. So Thomas says, I heard that driving for dollars is the best ROI for new wholesalers. I got to tell you, it's probably the most often overlooked technique, and it it always works because when a house is run down, it gives you clues. So let me give you an example. I'll spend, I don't know, 10 grand on like a set of mailers. The minute I pull up to the house or my acquisition person pulls up the house, it's every time we go to look at the house, the mailbox is knocked over. There's a hole in the roof. The driveway's black. Um, and I've probably driven by the house 10 times. So if I just did a driving for dollars list, I probably would have got there. I like it because it's like real data and you know which houses are vacant, which ones are struggling. So yes, Thomas, it is probably one of the highest return on ROIs. The problem is it's not super sexy and people like fancy stuff and it's old school, but man, does it work really, really good. Um, I even do walking for dollars when I go on walks, when I go for runs, I look for everything. Let's see Kevin's question. What do they mean when they say it's an attorney state, for example, wholesaling in Ohio? So Ohio is one of those states where actually, if you want to research, we did an entire video on which states you need to get a license to do wholesaling. I believe Ohio, Oklahoma. There's a couple others on there, but for the most part, most states are pretty wholesaler friendly. You might also be asking about, do you need an attorney to close in a particular state? In Florida, you don't, but like I know New York, California, you do. So I'm not sure if that answers the question. Um, okay. So, Thomas, it's a good question. When starting out, should we focus on one or two marketing streams at first and then expand? Always pick one that you're most confident with and run with it. So, if you're down with cold calling, you like it, and you're a cold calling machine, go all in until you get a deal and get it locked up. And then you're going to say, oh, Rick, I'm going to hire someone to do this for me. And you better make sure you understand everything there's about cold calling because you're going to have to manage the KPIs and keep that person working and honest for you. So once you close like 3 or 4 deals, then you can hire someone if that's what you want to do. But absolutely pick one medium stream. If you pick 9 off the bat, it's just too confusing. So pick one, master it. And once you master it, then you can just keep adding more and more sources on it. So good question. Hey, I appreciate you guys being on here. So, guys, keep picking my brain. I am here for you. Remember, I do this to help as many people as I can. Um, let's see, Sharice. She just got here. Welcome, Sharice. Contracts besides the standard contract, what kind of extras would you recommend? Sharice, don't complicate it. You can actually do a contract on the back of a cocktail napkin. You just have to come up with the terms and have 2 parties agree on it. So, but if you want to learn more, just spend more time on this channel. We have let me put it up here. Let's see here. Where did I put it? So you can go to freewholesaling.com, and that is the best way to learn for free how to get started in wholesaling. We hold nothing back. I could charge a ton of money for this course, but as I said, I'm trying to teach everyone how to wholesaling that wants to do it to make their first 100 grand. So, guys, also do me a favor. If you are new to this channel, I need you to hit that subscribe button. It makes a big difference on who can see our materials. If you guys can give me some thumbs up, we're a little bit light on those today. Let's keep this going. I'd like to keep this fun, exciting, and let's see here. Okay. So, here we go. Here's a good one. Evans goes, how do you prevent an investor from going behind your back and cutting you out? So the best thing to do is try to keep it as professional as possible. We have a tendency is like we want to share like deals with like friends and other wholesalers before they get under contract to see if you're getting a consensus on the price. That's the worst thing you can do. So Evans, the best way to protect yourself is to have a bona fide locked up contract, because once it's locked up and it's inked, the investor really can't go around you without having a real legal issue. The problem is people share information all the time and we think we're being helpful, and there's a lot of snakes in the bush. So, Evans, the best thing to do is um, get your deals locked up, and then once you have them locked up, then you can present your deals. But once they know it's locked in a contract, it's really hard to cut you out. So, guys, it happens all the time. It's happened to me. It will probably happen to you. The best way to protect yourself is make sure you have a bona fide contract before you start talking to your buyers. So, Horatio, deal or no deal, 225,000, $20,000 down payment, 550 monthly payments, 50K in repairs, rent rate 1,700. Dear Rizia, that's a lot of moving parts there. So I need some more information. 225K. So I assume this is a creative creative financing. Your biggest challenge is the 50K in repairs because someone's got to do it. So 225. So there, my question for you is, what is the current value as is right now? That's the part I'm missing. So I see the cash flow. I see what the repairs are. But is it worth 225? Is it worth 350? I have no idea. So I was probably close to 3 if it needs 50K in repairs. The question is, how are you going to fund those 50K in repairs? So I'm going to watch out for your comments. So do we need to hire cold callers to make 100K a year in whole? Absolutely not. No, 100K is not hard at all in wholesaling. So if your goal is to hire cold callers so you don't have to do it, that's great. But you better make sure you know how to manage those people, because cold callers are a lot of work. It's a lot of management. You're talking about lists. You're talking about recorded conversations, a ton of stuff. So Jason asks, after driving for dollars, is it better to cold call or mail them? If mailing, should it go to a property or an address or a mailing address? So I prefer a cold call because it's faster and people are very slow with their mail. Um, you can add them on part of your mailing list, but what I would do is put like a care package on their door. You can get the fake like FedEx ones. You can buy them from any marketing company. They cost like $1 a piece, 75 cents, and then just put a letter in there and just stick it on their door. So I think it's just faster. So that's how I do it. Thanks. Been studying extensively for the past 2.5 months, and the courses are wonderful. So, guys, listen, you can study till you turn blue, but in the end, you are going to have to take the action to get the stuff done. It doesn't matter if you hire a guru or you get someone with 19 years wholesaling experience that does this day in and day out. At the end of the day, you are going to have to be accountable for your actions. And no gurus, their job's not to sit there and kick you in the pants to get it going. You have to take accountability. So I commend you on studying and reading the material, but what I need you to do is start making phone calls and get your marketing going. So yeah, I don't care if it's owned by a corporation. It's just harder to get a hold of the right person to transact on them. So Barbara says, thanks, Rick. Found a great contract for, I assume it's Washington, State on Law Depot site. So if you guys need to find like the long version of your contracts, just Google it. A lot of sellers are used to seeing these long form contracts, and realtors actually, they don't sign that 1 or 2 page contract from the wholesaler. So I always like to go with 2 contracts in hand. Okay. What's up, Dexter? Hey, Rick, I just realized you're on live. I have someone cold calling a list on Saturday and I have a fireman schedule, so I can only do it part-time. Well, that's fine. So that's what we're talking about. So we're talking about doing wholesaling part-time, guys. I tell you, if you have any type of these government jobs, fireman, police fire, a nurse, first of all, God bless you for what you do. Number 2 is if you really like that and you enjoy it, nobody tells you have to quit it to go do wholesaling, but I will tell you, you can still make an incredible impact on your life. Because once you get wholesaling figured out in the long run, it's not a 10-hour a day job. I'm telling you right now. It's you could marketing, um, you contact people, you set appointments, you buy their houses, and then you sell the contract to other people. It's really that simple. It seems overwhelming in the beginning, but in the end, honestly, you can spend a couple hours every other day and do this job easily. So that's awesome. Here's a good one. So Cherise says, my state puts out a sheriff's sale list a month before the sale. Are these properties viable leads? So I'm going to let you know on this. Sheriff sales, they're not what you think they are. So they're not your typical foreclosures at the courthouse step. Sheriff's sales come up and a lot of people miss them on the radar. So number one, Cherise, they are good, but you got to make sure you've got like funding and you know what you're doing because it's like big boy money. These sales go in effect when people are being chased down for child support's a big one, or if they have outstanding penalties due with the state or even like the IRS. A lot of times they get a judgment against it, and then they call the local sheriff's department and they put it on a special sale. And these are really hard to find unless you're looking for them. So most people are chasing the foreclosures on the foreclosure step. A sheriff sale, like they go very fast and not a lot of people know about them. So I've had a few properties that come up under that. And one, I believe, is for child support, and one was for an outstanding fine on some sort of criminal procedure. They actually wound up foreclosing on the house and actually wound up buying it. So very good, Cherise. If you guys can do it, you actually have the best way to do is contact your local law enforcement to see who's in charge of those sales. But I didn't figure this out till about 4 years ago. So yes, they are plausible. Not that many people do them, and they're very hard to find out. So I know. Thanks for the information. I appreciate it. Minnesota. My God, what's the temperature in Minnesota today? Because I'm here in Florida. I was out on the water earlier, and it was a bit nippy at 72. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I full disclosure, I had a sweatshirt on and long pants. So, uh, okay, let's keep going here. Marley, welcome to the channel. It says, I found a wholesaler who had a commercial property that I can sell to an end buyer. How do I make this deal work? Do I get this under contract, then sell it to the end buyer? Yes. In theory, you can do a commercial project the exact same logical way you do a single family residential. Now, most commercial properties go slower and there's much more due diligence. So I don't know how complex this property is, but if you already have a buyer in mind, the main thing to do to protect your profit is get it under contract. Now, you can use a simple land contract or you can use a commercial contract. Commercial contracts just got a little bit more jargon that doesn't have all the single family residential stuff in it. But listen, Marley, if you can get it under contract and you have a buyer that's willing to work with you, then by all means do it. It is the exact same steps. So let me know how it works out for you. But guys, just because it's commercial, it's still a piece of real estate and it works all the time. If it's 10 million or if it's a $100,000 property, it's the same mechanics. Chris says, Rick, how do you pitch terms to sellers? So I always approach every motivated seller from a wholesaling standpoint because it's the most profitable way and it's usually how I buy properties. Now, every now and then I get someone that just we can't agree to a price. So if they can't agree to price, you've got to basically recircle the wagons. And here's how I do it. So I don't have one. If you had a baseball cap, you got to switch your baseball cap, and now you got to put on your creative financing. So a lot of times I'll go back and I'll say, hey, listen, Chris, I get it. You can't do that price. Would you be open to, if I could get you the price you need, would you be open to a creative solution? And just shut up and see what they say. One or two things are going to happen. They're going to tell you you're absolutely nuts and you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Or number two, tell me more about what you're talking about, Rick. And that's it. And remember, whenever you do creative financing, it's not so much about the price, it's really about the terms and most importantly, cash flow. If you guys are just starting out and you're doing creative financing, I'm going to warn you, do not buy properties where you go in a negative cash flow. If you have to give somebody 20 grand and you can only get 5 or 10 grand back from the market and you're in the whole $10,000, but you think you're cash flowing 300 a month, you're not. You're at risk. And that's all I'm going to say. I always approach people from wholesaling. Remember, this is how I do it. I'm not here to tell everyone how to do it. I'm not here to pitch you on a course. But if I can't get the price and maybe the property's free and clear and they're just stuck on a price and it's vacant, I'll just come back and say, listen, Chris, you open to a creative solution for this? And either one or two ways, either they're going to blow you off completely or they're going to ask you for more information. And that's the easiest way I found out to do it without going into a long-winded explanation. So, how do you know which markets? The best thing to do is do your research through listrei.com. That's going to be the best way to figure out how to do it. So that's what I would do. And for those of you that always asking me about the whole texting, if you go to smszach.com, you get 500 texts for I think it's just $1. It's the best way to do it. So we're just sharing with you guys. Okay, guys, come on. I've got some more time here. I want to take questions. I want to help out as many people as I can. What's up, Steve V? Just says, I want to thank you for the value you bring of your subscribers for free. Yes, we actually do this stuff for free. I know for a fact me and Zach are the only people in the wholesaling space, actually in the real estate investing space, that actually teaches you guys 100% for free. So, yeah, I don't put a Lambo up there. By the way, anybody who's going to flash watches, Lambos, vacation spots and stuff like that, they're doing it to impress you. And by impressing you, they're going to hope you buy their course so you get the exact same lifestyle, but you're going to find out. I'm not even going to tell you what percentage of coaches and gurus are fake in this business, but it's really bad. So I'll leave it at that. Let's see here. Man, I tell you what, I think we have an entire Hawaii crowd here. I saw 2 other people from Hawaii. So if you guys from Hawaii, this man is he's fun to talk to, but connect, because I think it's so cool. I've never been to Hawaii. It's actually one place I need to go bad. So I want to connect with as many as people. So when I go, you guys can show me the best places to go. And I love to go fishing and boating. Fresh fish, fresh pig, you name it. So Cherie says, do you think wholesaling has become saturated? No, I don't. More people doing it? Absolutely. Is the population's getting bigger? Yes. Are they building more houses? Yes. So I'm in a highly saturated market. I don't even care. It doesn't bother me. I'm on my game and I know how to get stuff done. So, all right. Howdy, Rick. We appreciate you. I appreciate you guys spending time with me. Christian says, everyone sign up for freewholesaling.com and pretend you paid $5,000. It feels like you paid for it. And even set it up like OPOP SIG course. So listen, guys, everyone asks, hey, what's your fee for doing this? Number one, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with as many people as you can, because I'm trying to save people from paying these ridiculous fees just to learn how to wholesaling. It's not that complicated. And I do this on a daily basis. You're going to find a lot of people wind up wholesaling, and then somebody teaches them, hey, you can teach students, you can actually make a lot more money than you do wholesaling, which is probably means they're not a really good wholesaler. So I probably wouldn't have them teaching it. So when you sign up for freewholesaling.com, you still have to put in the work. You have to do stuff. Here's the difference is, because I'm not taking all your money up front, you actually have room to do budgeting. And number two, I'm not going to spin you. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, because I don't have an agenda here. My agenda is to create a legacy to help as many people as I humanly possibly can in this business. And by you guys coming here, it makes a huge difference. Go to freewholesaling.com, check it out, and pretend like you paid the fee. And then I want you to take some of that money and I want you first set some of it aside for you. And then number two, put some money and invest in you in marketing. So Brittany, should I complete a business website and page before I start cold calling? Absolutely not. Your sellers don't care. They just don't care. Listen, guys, everyone can tell you need this complicated website and stuff. Guess what, guys? I don't have a website. I don't have one. I've had a million of them. I've paid thousands of dollars in fees. Nobody cares about your website and wholesaling, unless you get one of the website guys, which I'm not going to mention. They're all like good guys, but I mean, it's like $70 a month to do that. I'd rather you spend it on a list or something like that. People don't care when they want to sell their house what your website looks like. So I appreciate it, Evans. If you guys could smash that like button. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, guys, I'm getting down to the final questions. Let's do a speed round. Wib says consistent action. He is right. Raphael, I appreciate you. Rico, should you skip trace all 10K from PropStream and call monthly? If that's what your marketing method is, then yes. But I don't know if that's your marketing meeting and you're going to do 10 grand a month, then yes. But if you only planned on 2, then just do 2. So my local cities say they no longer maintain code violation lists. So just ask them. So I guess there's no more code violations in your city. Everyone's good. They're just blowing you off. You got to find who's in charge of it and who takes care of it, and make it very apparent you are not going to go anywhere. And by the way, that is the common response from most cities now. Sean asked, are condemned houses good to try and wholesalers should I stay away from them? Remember, for a house to get condemned, it's got to be pretty bad. So unless you have personal knowledge of it, what it is to rectify it, I probably wouldn't mess with it. By the way, a lot of people are scanned on condemned houses. I know Pennsylvania, Indianapolis has a big problem with it, and certain. I know Indianapolis has a huge problem with it. People selling like cheap condemned houses, but people wind up getting screwed in that deal. You're welcome, Denise. Guys, there's a sub page and Wholesaling Houses for Real where you can put up your deals to sell so we don't like spam the entire page. Adam says wholesaling is absolutely the best way to earn money in real estate right now. I agree with it, and it really minimizes your risk. So let's see, this is really good stuff. So Therese, hey Rick, I live in Trinidad. That's awesome. First of all, congrats. I just started reaching out to wholesalers on Facebook and are getting houses sent to me for a couple markets. How do I find buyers? So go to freewholesaling.com and we teach you exactly how to get cash buyers on there. It's really easy. It's like a 5-minute video. Just freewholesaling.com, Therese. It's free. Get in there and look for cash buyers, and it's plenty of information to get you going on that. So, or not, I live in Minnesota. Another person from Minnesota. I work hard in wholesaling to move different state. Yeah, I can't imagine what the temperature is right there right now. I don't know how people survive the north with, I don't even know what snow looks like other than when I go skiing. Denise says, are you sticking to 70% ARV? I don't believe in that rule at all. I believe you put a house under contract for less than what your buyers are going to pay for it, and that's how you need to do it. These 70% hard rules I was taught that in 2003, and it doesn't work today. What's up, Jason? I appreciate you. Let's see here. I am taking the last 4 or 5 questions here from a number. Somebody asked, good daddy. I like that. Salt Lake, Utah, seeing houses being renovated constantly, is this a good indicator? Utah being a good, dude, that's a phenomenal market. So, absolutely. Guys, if people are pouring in and moving into your state and businesses are growing, then that's a great place to wholesale. End of story. When you have a declining population and stuff like that, that's where you got to watch out. Moore says, good evening, Rick. Thanks for you and Zach, all the outstanding content. You guys are a blessing, and you're a blessing as well. Thanks for watching. So this is Be My Mentor. Dude, just tune in. I'm giving it to you for free, guys. I'm going to create a ridiculously legacy. I'm here to teach as many people how to do wholesaling for free and get them to their first $100,000, because I taught my son at 17 how to do it, and he did it while he was in high school. You don't have any excuses. You just need to dive in. It doesn't matter how old you are. So, hey, Thomas, a KPI is a key performance indicator. People love these cute little terminologies in wholesaling: ARVs, KPIs. What's the other one? LOI, letter of intent. ARV is actual retail value. It goes on and on. Just fancy words. There, Barbara's got it up there. I appreciate it. Key performance indicators, right? Okay, you guys got me all hung up. Okay, guys. Let's see here. Let me see if I missed it. I saw one other question I want to put up on here. Oh, I love this one. So what's better, flipping or wholesaling? Well, here's my answer, okay? Wholesaling is the most fundamental technique you can learn in real estate investing. It is like learning your ABCs. You cannot, until you learn your ABCs, you can't figure out how to pronunciate words and how to do full sentences, do paragraphs and reports. So if you do real estate investing without wholesaling, in my opinion, you miss the boat. Okay. Because if you can learn wholesaling, you can do anything you want in real estate investing. So wholesalers always get the best deep discounted deals. End of story. What you want to do with that deal afterwards, if you want to keep it for a rental, if you want to flip the property, if you want to rehab it, knock yourself out. For full disclosure, I've tried everything. I will tell you, wholesaling, hands down, is the best technique you can do because it minimizes your risk. You don't have to swing hammers. You don't have to manage rehab crews. I've done it all, and I'm just telling you, once you start opening walls and started getting permits and stuff, your profit is unknown till the very end. And for that reason, I'm not a big fan of doing it. I'd rather take my $20,000, $30,000 and do it 4 or 5 times over and over instead of putting all my marbles in one rehab and actually having to show up to work every day and do it. That's just my opinion. I don't care. But if wholesaling finds you the deep, best discounted deals, make sure you do wholesaling. If you want to add flipping to it, knock yourself out. I prefer you do wholetailing, which means you just clean the property up, you get it done in less than 2 weeks, and you put it on the market to the highest and best buyer. And it could be with financing on that one. So that's it, guys. I tell you what, tune in every Friday. I'm here. I'm going to answer as many of your questions. Guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you smash that like button, and go to freewholesaling.com. It is the most extensive wholesaling course available today, and it's 100% free. And I got 19 years. Zach's got 5 years wrapped up in there. So we've got 24 years experience in it. And guys, we post 2 videos a day. So go to Flip with Rick YouTube channel, subscribe there, and Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. Guys, have a magnificent Friday. Go out and get your deals. And yes, you can do wholesaling part-time. I don't care what anybody tells you. I did it. And within 5 months, I was in this business full-time and I eliminated all the risk. So I had to take care of a family. I had to take care of my mortgage, and I transitioned into it. If you're young, you're single, and you have no risk, then dive into it full-time. I would tell you that right off the bat. So those of you guys with wonderful jobs, the firefighters, the policemen, the nurses out there, keep your jobs because we need you. But just add wholesaling on it so you can do some amazing things for your family with that money. Guys, I love everybody on this channel. Do me a favor, make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next week. I appreciate it, guys.